everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. SBK!
Oh Lord Jesus, is a fart.
Now, guys, the Shade Room is a blog, it's a brand owned and operated by Nigerian American ladies, and they do a pretty good job covering all sectors of the black entertainment world. I mean, they're the top guys, are the top ladies out, have been so for a long time. I mean, they're better than I think, even like Baller Alert. They're doing better than Black Sports Online, better than Gossip. I mean, the Shade Room has the crown when it comes to covering, black entertainment and black entertainment gossip. So with that being said, if you're a guy and you have some kind of YouTube channel, you don't want to end up on the Shade Room. And the reason why is because they have a primarily African-American or black audience that is by gender female dominated, right? And with the Fresh and Fit debacle happening with Asian Doll and Stop the Show, I told you this was going to happen. I told you they was going to get, a lot of hate from black women. This is exactly what was to be expected. Now, this didn't have anything to do with black women per se, but what happened was their old comments about black women previously have resurfaced. And so the Shade Room have posted up those clips, not just what happened with Asian Doll, right? So things they did last year are now coming back to bite them. And one of the clips is Fresh and Fit talking about their preferences in dating women. Now, obviously, they had some young ladies there in the audience or at their podcast, and they're saying, hey, listen, we don't really date black women like that. We reserve the right to date anybody that we want to date. Just like you can date a guy that has money, a guy that has a certain height. It's only a problem when men have preferences. And give them a round of applause, because that's absolutely correct, right? If you don't like black women for whatever reason, there are a lot of black men who don't like black women or dating them. Just like there are black women who don't like dating black men or not attracted to them. That is a dating preference. If you want to exercise that, obviously, a lot of black women are not going to take that kindly because you're seeing it on a public platform. But see, here's the situation though, right? The problem was when they said that they didn't want to date black women because, hey, about this black dating app, he called them Shaniquas, things like that. If you really want to get down with the brown, you want to get down with the black, I don't really deal with the blacks like that. That's the problem there, right? And you start calling black women names, you start calling them, you just start being disrespectful and stuff like that. And that's what really is the issue, the disrespect towards black women, right? And I gotta review some of these comments that's just really on point. And I want to talk about Tank, right? Here's the issue that I want to talk about Tank. I want to read his comments. Stay music. I think his preferences goes just beyond his preference. His tone says, I don't like black women. His disdain for black women is oozing out of every mannerism and word he speaks. If it's just a preference, I can respect it, but it sounds so much deeper. Good luck, buddy. Give him a round of applause. I don't disagree. Okay. Now, this other one, Callie Shade So Fine Digo, she says, "Stay music. Nothing wrong with having a preference, but to down a group of women and name call and lowball isn't the thing, right?" What they didn't even acknowledge is that they said Night Riders and Shaniqua's LaQuisha, and that's mad disrespectful. Preference is one thing, but disrespect is an entirely different ball game. Joking or not, Stop the Show. That absolutely is true, especially when you guys are not African American, right? If it's African American, it doesn't make it any better. But, if you say, hey, I don't want to date black men, if a woman says that, I don't want to date none of you Pookies, Ray Rays, or Romy Romes, like a lot of black men would feel disrespected. And if it's just a preference, it's okay. You can say that, that's a preference. But to say it with these other additive names, it's uncalled for, right? And then a lady says Essential Skincare, she says, dating music, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. This is pure disrespect in all levels. Nobody cares about your preference, it's the disrespect. All right? Monique Slaughter, whoever the hell that is, she says, angry music, nobody gives a F about your preferences, ma'am. 2, bring women of color on your show and you demean, berate, disrespect, and belittle them. Stop the show. I don't know why they bring black women onto their show. I just think it's because maybe some of our guys in the audience like black women. But it's interesting though. Myron also said if we date some, they're the red bones. So he doesn't like dark skin or brown skin black women. Okay. So that's important to also know there. 3, in your music, we have an issue with the descriptive adjectives you use to describe women of color. 4, we don't like your misogynistic tone when speaking to women in general who come onto your show. What versus your jovial tone with the male co-host. This whole show is for men. What you have done is seek the less than sharper tools in the shed who happen to be a group of women of color.
Jesus Christ.
Who are looking for a moment that they won't react or respond to your antics. Okay, she was mad, right? This other person, official D Munoz says, date music. There's a big difference between having a preference and just being straight up disrespectful. That wasn't stating your preferences. It sounded like some real hate to me. All right. Now, and this is also what I want to say. When you have a social media platform, a podcast on YouTube, and black women are a protected group, and don't get me wrong, like even some of the things that I may say can get taken out of context. And I do have some classic videos where I am going very, very hard on the black community, black women, black pastors, black men in potential, in particular. Yeah, it could be considered bad with some of the things I've said previously before. But I think that what is known here is that my preference is the African-American community. My preference is black women. My preference is black people. Myron and Fresh, the issue with them is that they want to deal in the black community for the audience and for the money and for the entertainment space. And then at the same time talk about the people that culture emanates from or derives from. That's just the issue. And it is self-deprecating, right? Because when you tell somebody, I don't date the people who look like me, well, how can other groups of people really respect you like that? Especially when, you're on YouTube, you're on a public platform, you're doing nothing but hurting yourself. And again, where are these mentors that should be telling them not to say this? Oops, okay, because it sounds a lot like another guy. I'm looking at you, Donovan. It sounds like what he says. And to be fair, like Donovan has been talking about this for a while, and I understood that black men, they wanted to hear some of this stuff like this before. And I gotta take the blame too for even dealing with Donovan to a certain extent, because after now realizing it, just because some guys feel like this, it doesn't make it right. That at one point, and we have a lot of guys in the black manosphere that feel like how they feel. But it's not right though. If you don't like black women as a preference, it's okay. But then to start to berate them and start to call them, all kind of names and things like that. And I mean, I've used the term Lolo Keisha before jokingly and stuff like that. But I mean, obviously it's my preference, just like Pookie's and Ray Raj use that, but these are my people. They don't like black people. And I think that's clear, but you're just causing problems for yourself. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of Celebrity Junk. Check out my boy SPK Speaks on the edit. Check him out on his YouTube channel. He's one of the best 2 editors on black YouTube. Demon's #1.
Huh?
I mean, look, SPK's #1. I don't know. Either one of them's edited my video is #1. So you guys let me know. Peace out, guys. Thank you for your support, and we're out.